Welcome back to the Cine-Ops podcast. The podcast where we talk about movies, everything's kind of a synopsis of a movie, or we kind of just hang out and talk, get to know each other. We've been doing questions, and everybody's been having a good time, I think. I'm Alvy. I'm the host. I do the podcast. I do a lot, but I also don't do a lot, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do the podcast here. I'm a father, an excellent lover. No, I'm just kidding. How are you? How are you? Are you liking the episodes? It looks like you are. All right. The numbers, the analytics, they don't lie. Yeah, thanks for showing your support. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. I kind of been holding on for the questions, and it kind of turned into something great. You know what I mean? I didn't even look at them. I think I was just storing them away for a day that because I was trying to do stories every episode. I was trying to tell a different movie and try to, whatever. And then on a rainy day, I was like, you know what? Let me do the questions. And you guys liked it, man. And I appreciate you guys. And thank you. I have some more here. And I think we could keep doing that for a little while. And then we'll go back to movies, right? Some of these are movie related. And yeah, feel free to ask anything you want. There's some emails where they give a little bit of background about themselves, tell me a little bit about themselves, ask me some personal stuff, and that's all right. All right, that's okay. You can email in cineopspod@gmail. Yeah, just do that. cineopspod@gmail. That's probably the best one. Or you can comment if they give you an option to comment, or in wherever you're listening to. You can just text it there, and I think I'll get it here. All right. What's new with me? I'll just be hanging out. I'm a dad, a husband, a friend, a brother. Yeah. So I kind of just be doing my regular thing. I hope you guys are all right. I hope you're watching movies. What have you been watching? Right? You watched The Odyssey. Have you been revisiting old stuff? You know what I revisited? And it's so good. The first Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. I rewatched it, and it's pretty cool. So if there's anybody that's asking me, I think I did see one in here that's like, what's a movie that holds up or whatever like that? Right now, it's a beautiful time to revisit movies. I've been watching older movies, and by older I mean 1997, 2001, 2010. So I've been watching those. That kind of era. There's the kind of era I've been watching recently. Beautiful. Perfect. You know what I mean? Absolute cinema. You guys feel all right? How do you feel? You're a little slanted? You see the backdrops? Can you see the background? All right. Yeah, we're all right. We're all right. We're here. Me, I had a birthday. We kind of took, me and my family, we took a trip to Zion National Park, and it was pretty crazy, pretty sick, bro. It's pretty nice. Nature's pretty good. Another year older, I'm 34. 92, Year of the Monkey. I'm probably going to get a Monkey King tattoo. Year of the Monkey. That's pretty sick, bro. So, let's see here. All right. I listed out the questions that have kind of been asked. Right, there's kind of some personal email stuff and story stuff. Some of them I kind of cut out for time. And I didn't charge my battery on the camera, so we'll see how fast we can do this. Okay, so the first question, it's a military question, and it says, how has your sense of humor changed, if at all, from your time in the military? All right, I feel like you guys like military. You guys have been asking a lot of military questions, and when I put the clips on TikTok, the military questions do the best. So, how has my sense of humor changed? All right, I've changed. I think I've changed, right? I joined later, right? I was 24 already. I was kind of already an adult. I joined, and I served with a bunch of kids, right? Essentially, a lot of them were like 21, some were 19, some were 25, some were my age, some were older. And when I was growing up, I was kind of a very I would say I don't want to say aggressive. I don't want to say aggressive, but like in a tough area, I think, or maybe like a tough time where you had to be kind of aggressive, kind of on guard. And when I joined, I met all these cool people, and the coolest thing was I saw people that were so chill. They never had to be defensive, or they never had to prove anything to anybody. And I knew they could handle business because I was with it was a sergeant from Raider Battalion, Sergeant Silo, super chill, super quiet, super slow talking, super chill. And then you see, we're trading, and then he's hard charger, badass. And all these guys other guys that I served with were engineers. Everybody's super funny. Like, no matter what situation you're in, you're a good time. As long as your attitude is all right, you want to help the team, we're going to make it, man. We're going to be all right. So my sense of humor, I think I lightened up. You know what I mean? Everything's going to be fine. You don't have to be a tough guy. It's okay to be vulnerable. Everything's going to be all right. So I did change in that way. All right. Here's, let's see. Is there a piece of advice? What is a line of advice that you read from a superior? What is a line of advice from a superior that you still live by today? I felt like, as I was kind of like growing in the military, like rank and responsibility in the Marines, if you're capable enough and they trust you, they'll give you a lot of responsibility without giving you the rank. So I was a squad leader. And I was a new squad leader, right? And my squad was probably like 10 people. 11 including me. My squad was 10 people, and then we were training with Raiders. We were training with Raider Battalion, and not Sergeant Silo. Sergeant Silo was super chill, but there was another staff sergeant. He kind of like, I don't want to say he took me under his wing, but he said he thought I was doing a good job. He would kind of like look out for me, give me good advice. And we were bounding, right? I was operating my squad alongside adjacent to this squad, and we were moving, and he was teaching me. He's like, "Hey, Rado, let me tell you something." And he says, right? He says, "Hey, Rado, let me tell you something. When you're a Marine, when you're a lineman," he says, "when you're a Marine, your greatest weapon is your rifle." That's right. I'm like, yeah, that's right. When you're a squad leader, your greatest weapon is your squad. I get it. I see what you're putting down. When you're a platoon sergeant, platoon's your weapon. And so on and so on. As you grow, you see the bigger picture, right? So when you're a line Marine, right, you have your field of fire. This is my weapon. Boom, you're a squad leader. This is what I have to see. This is my weapon, squad, and so on and so on. So as you grow, your abilities and your responsibilities change. And I think about that. And I think, okay, when I was doing this, I would only have to focus on this. And as I grow, if I kept focusing on this, I wouldn't focus on this. You see what I'm saying? So I took that with me. And there's like a ton of advice you learn from everybody. You learn what to do, you learn what not to do. And that's part of growing. So that was a piece of advice I think about. All right, boot camp questions. Here's some boot camp for all you, for the poolies, for all you motivators. You want to go to the Marines, you want to go to the Coast Guard, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. And actually, this is a question, right? A lot of people, I joined the Marines to get some good training and to get out of my hometown. I was like, you know what? I got to get out of here, bro. So I did it. I left. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted some training. I wanted to do some cool stuff, meet some cool people. And that's exactly what I got. And I got it in my town. But then some people, they like to serve. Because my daddy was a Marine. My daddy was a soldier, right? My granddaddy, Iwo Jima, all of this. I understand. That's honorable. Your dad did that. I met when I was in boot camp, I saw recruits whose parents were the Marines. I also saw that recruit cry and give up. So, I saw a recruit. He was in there crying. He didn't think he could make it. And the drill instructor said, Why are you here? Right? Yelled at him. He's mad. So what are you doing here? Why are you here? He's like, I didn't want to disappoint my father. My father was doing this and that. And he tells him, hey, look, your father's not here. Dad's not here. He did his time. He's done. You're here. What are you going to do? That guy quit. I'm not saying don't join because your father joined. Hey, but you got to have a look. It can't, your dad's not going to do it for you. All right, if you're going to go, you got to go. All right. That wasn't even a question. I just remember that guy. But here's some boot camp stories. What's the craziest thing a drill instructor ever said to you or to someone else? Oh. If only you knew. I don't know if you're whoever asked this question, I don't know if you're a young guy thinking about going to the Marines, or are you an older guy who went to the Marines, and maybe you have similar stories. And let me tell you, let me tell you, boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp is wild. And then, every generation is going to say, oh, well, it's changed. It's probably soft now, right? I'm going to say that about whoever's going now. Whoever was before me says that about me. Whoever's before them says it about them. Hey, what are you going to do? That's life, right? But I'm telling you right now, from when I was in there, what I saw, the things we had to do, it's pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. They say, or you hear it, you're like, they're not allowed to touch you. They're not allowed to put their hands on you. They're not allowed to, I don't want to say chemical. I don't want to say they're not allowed to use chemical agents. But I did have to scuzz the deck while they were throwing bleach and laundry soap around me. Yeah, I was on my hands and knees, scuzzing the deck. Aye, sir. They're pouring bleach. But they probably skimmed you. I mean, throwing bleach on there, laundry soap on the floor in the rain room. The rain room's a shower. And you're just in there, you can't see. You're exhausted, scrubbing the deck, hands and knees. And you can't leave unless they think you have enough volume. When you're in the Marines, they tell you got to scream, aye, sir. Right? If you don't have enough volume, so look, maybe they're not allowed to use chemicals and stuff like that, but bleach was poured around me. Were they allowed to put hands on you? They're allowed to correct you. Did I see someone getting hands put on? I did. Someone got lightly assaulted. A little lightly assaulted. There was an investigation. Oh man, but it's so funny. And I know that doesn't sound right. I know that when I'm saying there was an investigation, but it was so funny. A Marine will understand. If you're a Marine and you're listening to me, when they say, oh, did anything happen in boot camp? Yeah, it was crazy. It's hilarious. We look at it fondly. We remember it. Oh, man, I remember one time, boot camp stories. One of my drill instructors, he was mad at us, right? It was the drill hat, because you have to learn how to drill, which is like left, right, or you're like dress, right, dress, right shoulder, arms, whatever it is, right? So the drill instructor, I think we came in second, final drill, or we didn't do as great as we should have. And he was so mad, he pushed one of the bunk beds, one of the racks, right? The bunk beds, boom, domino effect, doom. Luckily, and you know what? We have to clean that up, right? Domino effect, the racks, doom. Luckily, it only went 4 racks, but it was pretty funny. And then I remember one time we all had gotten a sickness. So for like 3 days, everybody was sick, diarrhea, vomiting. And one dude on the top bunk threw up in the middle of the night. He rolled over, threw up, and it landed on the bottom bunk next to him. Where else are you gonna see something like that? Boot camp was the most fun you never want to have again. And that's pretty accurate. Let's see. What is something about boot camp? I'm thinking about going. I'll be going to boot camp soon. What's something about boot camp that the movies always get completely wrong? Okay. Let's break it down. You're going to boot camp, right? I'm thinking maybe you're doing Marines. That's fine. In Marine Corps boot camp, is the longest boot camp. And you know, when you talk to the recruiter or anybody you know, they say, hey, the 13 weeks of boot camp is broken down into this week. When you get to grass week, which is the week before you learn how to shoot, and firing week, which is the day you're actually firing, those weeks are so chill because they want you to be relaxed. They don't want you to be too anxious when you're holding the rifle and stuff like that. So you're thinking, okay, out of the 13 weeks, I really only got to make it to week 6. That's grass week, whatever. Listen to me. Listen to your buddy Rado. Grass week, my 2 worst days in boot camp was the Sunday of grass week, was the Sunday of firing week. Every boot camp's going to be different. What I would say, something that they get wrong, it's very structured, right? I think they don't show you the structure that they plan for boot camp, right? They just show you just straight, boom, straight training, hazing. Hazing is bullying, right? Like in a way of bullying. So they show you just straight hazing, bullying, torture, training, running, nonstop go. But there are times where you sit down and you listen to a drill instructor tell you something, right? He's teaching you something either about a previous battle, right? The Battle of Iwo Jima, right? He's teaching you about the battles of Korea. He's trying to get you to understand why we're breaking you down, right? He's trying to get you to understand why you need to open your hips when you throw a roundhouse kick, right? So before you do anything in boot camp, they explain it to you. They're very aggressive about the way they explain it to you, but they do explain it to you, right? They teach you, and then you do it, and then they haze you. But it makes you tough. You'll be all right, man. So if you could just go into boot camp thinking, this is going to suck for a while. I'll fail if I'm not strong enough. And the rest will take care of itself, man. And here's another little tidbit. In the Marines, you go to boot camp. After that, right, you go to your school, you go to your unit. Your unit, bro. You might be wishing you were back in sweet old Paris Island. You're going to wish you were in Iraq. Because in boot camp, it's mandatory to sleep 8 hours. It's mandatory for them to give you 3 chows a day. It might not feel like 8 hours, right? Because you go to sleep at 8, wake up at 3:45. It might not be the 8 hours you want. You get 8 hours. You get 3 meals. You get to take a shower. But then, say you do a field op, nonstop 24-hour ops. You get deployed, nonstop training, nonstop this. You're gonna wish you were you're gonna wish for those 8 hours, man. But overall, I don't mean to scare you. For me, I love the Marines. I love the Marines I served with. I'm proud of my service. I think I did a good job. Everything that was asked of me, I did. Was I disrespectful? I mean, the same way I am here, right? I joke around a little. Joke around, talk a little shit, but overall, I think I'm all right. Yeah. If you're gonna make it in the Marines, bro, you just gotta hang in there. You just gotta hang in there. You'll make it. You'll be all right. So that's what I would say. Boot camp in the movies, they just show you straight hazing, training, everything like that. They don't really show you why it's structured a certain way and why you're being built up and making you stronger, and then how you do stuff. So they don't really focus on that. But in reality, that's not the cool part is the training and the hazing and the climbing the Reaper and doing the Heaven's Gate, right? The Stairway to Heaven and the martial arts, right? That is cool. That's why it's in the movies. So that's a boot camp thing. Let's see. Alvi, I'll be honest. I almost didn't keep listening after a few episodes. I wasn't sure about the format. I felt a little unfocused. But something made me give your podcast another try. And then I was hooked. And let me tell you, you're absolutely right. Yes, everything you said is right. Mostly because of how honest you are about your background. Good on you for growing into something solid. Here's a question. How has the show changed since episode 1? And do you ever go back and cringe at old episodes? Yes. I'll go back and cringe at the last episode. Yeah. Thank you for hanging in there. You're absolutely right. Right? It was unfocused. I wasn't sure. I haven't found my voice. Even now, it's just changed, right? I would do episodes every day, or every episode was a movie. I would tell stories. And really, I never really got to know you. You didn't get to know me. You're just like, hey, here's this guy, right? Here's this guy, buttery smooth voice, telling me the story that I think is pretty cool. And I like that. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. But here we are, right? Telling you a little bit about my boot camp stories, getting to know me personally. And I get to know you, right? You're right. Everything you said, like you were going to give me another chance. There were people that didn't give me another chance. And you're right. I go back and I listen and I'm like, I'm cussing. My audio's bad. I'm rambling all over the place. But thank you, bro. Or actually, I don't know your gender, but thank you. Thank you for hanging in there. Thanks for giving me another chance. And I'll do you proud. I'll make you proud. But yeah, I go back and I cringe all the time. Any episode, there's like very like around the Rambo episode, I was like, you know what? This feels good. I'm doing this. I was proud of my podcast. So before that, there was a lot of bad episodes, which I might go back and delete, but yeah, you're right. Oh, Frank, your name's Frank. Shout out Frank, bro. Yeah, thank you for being honest. You saying I'm pretty chill and honest. Thank you for being honest, man. All right. This is from a husband and wife kind of situation. Hi, my husband and I have very different tastes in movies, and somehow your podcast has become our common ground. We listen together on drives. He loves your hot takes, and I love the stories. We actually argue which part is better. Has a listener or anyone ever changed your mind completely on a movie that you originally hated? Renee and Tom. Shout out Renee and Tom. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Renee. Thanks for enjoying the podcast. Yeah, personal stories and my personal stories, and then just the story of the movie. That's really what the podcast is about. You know what I mean? I think you could just go watch the movie. You could go. Somebody else probably does way better clips with clips of the movie as they're talking about it, because I've seen those. But I think if you're here, it's because you enjoy my company. You think I'm pretty chill, and I think you're great too. So the question is, has anyone changed my mind on a movie that I originally hated? Not podcast related. Not on the podcast, but just like in my life. I think I watched a movie with somebody, and I don't have a good example. You know what I mean? I know when I first watched Nacho Libre when I was a kid, well, not a kid, but like growing up, I thought it was like corny, lame. And that's also like what I was telling you, like I had to be kind of a tough guy and like, no, nothing makes me laugh or whatever. And then really I was like, this is funny. Jack Black is funny. This is a great movie. And it's a movie that I quote today. So Nacho Libre is one of those that I didn't mess with at first, but I do now. All right, here's another one. Hello, Alvi. My name is Kenji. I am from Osaka, Japan. I study English partly by listening to podcasts, and yours has become one of my favorite. Because you speak slowly enough for me to understand. And the stories are interesting. I don't know much about American military culture, so hearing your stories has taught me a thing. Hearing your stories has taught me things I never knew. The question that I have, is there a movie from another country you love, even if it's not in English? Well, Kenji, my friend, are you from Osaka? Oh, all right. Yeah, man, welcome. Yeah, my English is okay. Yeah, there is a lot of my favorite movie. If I were to recommend one movie or a foreign film that I like, it's called The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. It's a Korean film. It's about a cop, a gangster, and a serial killer. And one day, the serial killer, he kind of chooses his victims on a rainy day, and he accidentally rear ends them as they're kind of merging onto this like lonely area, right? And then when they get out to check the damages, he serially kills them. So one day, he just happens to do this to the gangster, right? The mob boss, the big boss. But the big boss was like, he's tough. You know what I mean? He's not all just talk. and he like kind of fights him off. He has a knife too. He fights him off. The serial killer stabs him a little. He cuts the serial killer. The serial killer drops his knife. Killer runs away. The gang, they come and they help the big boss, take him to the hospital. Now the detective, he's the only one who thinks all these killings are kind of connected. I think he's a serial killer. None of my department believe me. I have to partner up with the gangster. He's the only one who has a lead, and he has the manpower of his gang to help me find this guy. So the gangster and the cop are working together to catch the serial killer, but the gangster and the cop can't trust each other fully because one's a criminal, one's a cop. The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. It's pretty good. It's one of my favorite movies. It's in Korean, and that's a great question, Kenji. Thank you. Shout out Kenji, bro. Shout out Osaka. Osaka. All right. Okay, here's a veteran. A veteran asked me this. Alvi, I appreciate you putting yourself out there like this. I served for 6 years. Got out 2 years ago, and honestly, I've been struggling to find my next thing. A buddy sent me your podcast saying, this guy gets it. Oh, sorry. This guy gets it. And he wasn't wrong. It feels rare to hear someone talk openly about what the transition, talk openly about the transition without making it sound like they have everything figured out. What's one thing that actually helped you feel normal again after getting out? You know what I think about transitioning veterans? When you look at social media, right, which is really what, essentially social media has become something that we refer to first, right? Oh, let me go see what's going on. Let me go see what I need to do next, right? So if you're a veteran, let's say you have to start over like I did. I did not have a career that you pick up somewhere else after you get out of the military. So I had to start from zero. I didn't know a lot of people here in San Diego where I stayed. So the transition, if you look at social media, they're going to say, oh, veterans, real estate, do your real estate license. And look at me, I'm driving a Bentley. Oh, do this, do this, whatever. And the thing is, maybe it's not true. I mean, real estate, social media itself isn't true, right? It's like a polished version of what we want. So not everybody's going to do that, right? For the amount of people that could be real estate agents and the amount of people that get out of the military, it's unlikely for you to be a successful realtor, right? Or whatever it is, like, hey, come do this. So the thing is, sometimes we don't know what to do. Veterans don't know what to do. They're like, I guess I'll do college. I'll do this. I guess I'll try real estate. And the thing is, it's okay to be like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. You might go back to your hometown, right? You might stay in a new town and you have to start from zero, bro. So the truth is, sometimes you will start from zero, and sometimes you might start progressing in a certain area, and then you start from zero again and again and again. And that's the truth about transitioning out of the military. But the thing is, I don't want this to sound crazy, but there's no limit to how many times you can fail. And I know that sounds depressing, right? So essentially I'm saying you can fail at any stage, right? You can do great and fail. So don't worry about starting at zero. You know what I mean? But one thing that helped me after I transitioned, I don't know if I said this in a different episode. I got out in like December of 2020, and I probably didn't feel cool, or not cool. I didn't feel good, or I didn't laugh again until like an entire year later. And what really helped me feel good again, which I never thought about doing this, but it's just hanging out with other vets again. So once I started hanging out with other vets, some Marine vets, we kind of laughed again, and everything was kind of all right. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's what ended up working for me. And yeah, I think sometimes when you get out of the military, you're so used to having, at least 20 people with you because you're a squad or a fire team, whatever it is. So you're used to having like a network or some friends or somebody you can call, and then you go to zero and it's just you and your partner or just you. So sometimes you just lose everything. Everybody's doing their own thing. A lot of people that are your friends, they probably won't reach out, and it's not because they don't care about you, but it's like, oh, he's probably, they're probably, oh, he's doing his own thing. Yeah, I mean, oh, he's got it, bro. He's doing his own thing. I don't want to bother him. You know what I mean? So they kind of don't reach out to you, and then you're kind of alone, and that's hard. You know what I mean? Because you're in a new place, no friends, don't really have nowhere to go, don't have a plan. So it's a weird time, right? It's like you're stranded somewhere. Really, is what it is. So you're stranded, and that's a very real thing that it happens to everybody, and they don't talk about it, right? There's not a lot of movies about that part, but yeah, I think you should reach out to somebody. Like, no, I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm saying, like, if you're a vet, just reach out to your friends, right? Like, oh, I don't want to bother them. Hey, just bother them a little. It means a lot, But yeah, you said, I like how you talk openly about it, and yeah, bro, that's what I'm gonna do, bro. I'm just gonna talk openly about what I think. A lot of times I'm gonna be wrong. A lot of times I'm gonna switch my opinion because, I don't know, things change, people change, and I hope people understand that. So, hang in there, bro. Yeah, email in. If you want to email in again, bro, email in, bro. I'll read it. Stay safe, though. Stay safe. That's what I tell everybody. And it's not because, like, I think your life's in danger, but it's like, hey, wake up, bro. Pay attention. If you're on your phone, walking around, whatever, just pay attention, bro. Stay safe. Whatever you're doing, just stay safe, bro. Hey, Alvi, it's Marcus. I'm 34. I work in construction out of Ohio. My buddy on the job site put me onto the show about 8 months ago during a long drive for a project. Something about the way you break down movies feels like I'm sitting around with friends instead of a critique lecturing me. Bro, yes. Yeah, thank you, Marcus. That's exactly what I want, bro. I want to talk about movies without someone, like, having to critique it, bro. I just want to enjoy the movies, whatever you liked about it, whatever you didn't like, without it feeling like a lesson. Yes, Marcus, you get it, bro. All right. Is there a movie that you rewatch specifically to unwind after a rough day at work? To unwind, bro. Let me tell you what I do, Marcus. To unwind, I'll watch whatever, bro. Whatever I like. It could be something silly, something I've watched 100 times, something new that whatever it is, to unwind. But this is something that I do. Is this right? To unwind, but something that's more specifically about, instead of unwinding, is whenever I feel that I'm going through it, right? I'm like, oh, but this is tough. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because there have been times in my life that have been pretty hard, right? A lot of those happened when I was real young, right? I was probably, I might have been 18, 19, like getting evicted from this apartment. I was probably not making enough money. I wasn't making enough money as a dishwasher / cook. I was getting evicted. I didn't have a place to stay. And it was just bad, bro. Just bad all around. And I would watch, like, The Pursuit of Happiness, right? With Will Smith, where, like, life just beats you down, and then if you just keep, you win at the end, right? And what I watch a lot is Cinderella Man. I watch Cinderella Man, and that's, what's this young man's name? Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe? Is it Russell Crowe? Yeah, Maximus Decimus Meridius, bro. He's a boxer, right? He's a boxer. He's doing great. The Great Depression hits. Everybody's down. Nobody has enough money for nothing. He has to go work at the harbor, and he doing this, and then he, his family's down, right? He has to send his kids away and everything like that. And something happens, right? There was a fight that came up. They offered him the thing, and he was good, and he kind of, kind of works. He kind of wins his way back. But sometimes I think about, I'll rewatch Cinderella Man, right? And I know you're asking about unwinding, but this is kind of like what I'm thinking about, because I'll rewatch it when I'm like, oh, what am I do, bro? When I'm struggling, when I'm stressed, I'll rewatch it, and I just think about the hard times that I've had, right? And I think, I just got to keep going, bro. Like, sometimes there isn't a plan, right? Sometimes, I'll honestly tell you, sometimes things are so bad, I don't even have a plan, bro. but I just got to keep going. I don't know which way I'm going, but I just got to keep going, right? And you can trust in the Lord. If you believe in whatever your religion might be, you could trust in the Lord. You could trust in yourself. Just keep going, bro. And I would just keep going. I was like, oh, bro, I gotta, I'm going through this right now. I gotta keep going. And I think about Cinderella Man. So that's a movie that I would rewatch whenever I need to, I think. But to unwind, I'll kind of just put something silly, or I'll let my kids pick. You know what I mean? What's your biggest pet peeve when you're watching? What's your biggest pet peeve when you're watching movies with someone else? I don't watch movies with other people now. If I'm like, oh, let me show you this that I love, I don't watch it with other people. My heart's been broken too many times. And I'm all right. I'm all right just doing it alone. Because, people don't like things as much as you do. They don't love the things you love. And that's okay. So if they're going to be on their phone, if you're going to be on your phone and it's kind of loud, hey, get out of my house. Get out of here, bro. But you drove me. Get the hell out of here. Or I don't watch movies before, if the sun is out, if it's like an early afternoon, I don't like to watch movies when the sun is up. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't like to watch movies when the sun is up. I will watch it in I'll wake up early and watch a movie kind of like before 10 o'clock, before the sun really gets up there. Yes, good, perfect. I'll watch it as the sun is going down, maybe like a 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Perfect. I will not watch a movie in between those hours, right? Or like a movie that I'm really trying to watch, I'm like, you know what? I want to dedicate my mind to this movie for the next 2 hours or whatever they have. It will not happen between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. It's just something about the light, the reflection, and everything like that. And I get very anxious, right? If I'm watching a movie at 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing something. I gotta go edge the grass and cut the grass or whatever it is. I gotta send a few emails. I get really anxious. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I won't watch it. Don't watch movies between those hours with people that aren't gonna like it as much as me. Yeah. I'd rather just watch a movie by myself, enjoy it, don't talk to anybody. That's fine with me. If your life had a movie trailer voiceover guy narrating it right now, what would he say? There used to be this comedian called Pablo Francisco, and he used to do voice impressions, and he had one called Little Tortilla Boy. Just check that out, bro. Little Tortilla Boy, check that out. What would he be saying, bro? He would say, you're lucky. The narrator would be like, you're lucky this guy doesn't kill you right now, bro. This guy, deep down in his heart, he wants to destroy everything and kill you. But he's being pretty chill about it, so you should thank him. I do feel, deep down, a lot of, I don't want to say anger and hate, but I don't think I want to be around a lot of people. A lot of times. Yeah, I get really angry, and for nothing. You know what I mean? Just because it's something I didn't like or whatever. So I do seem pretty chill and everything like that, but I think everybody has one, maybe two strikes. And on that one, I'm either leaving. Yeah, I think I'll just leave, I don't know if that has something to do with me, like mentally or emotionally, with the kind of person that I am, but I feel like I try to be very chill, pretty funny and stuff like that, but deep down I feel a rage, an uncontrollable rage. Let's see. Ooh, if you had to survive a zombie apocalypse with only 3 movie characters helping you, who are you picking? I feel like okay. 3 movie characters. I don't want to pick mainstream guys or mainstream characters. I want to pick okay, you know what I mean? I'll probably pick a couple of Transformers. I'll probably pick Megatron. But no, let's be real. Let's be real about this. As real as we can be. I don't want to pick anybody too mainstream. I'd pick Richard B. Riddick from Riddick. Oh, what if I pick only Vin Diesel characters? Dominic Toretto, Riddick, and Triple X, bro. All Vin Diesels. Imagine having 3 Vin Diesels in the back of an El Camino. Just 3 Vin Diesels in the back of the El Camino, and then Vin Diesel's driving the El Camino also. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny, bro. Okay, let's say I pick Riddick, right? Vin Diesel is Riddick. Let's pick. Who else is cool, man? Who else is really him? I don't want to pick any superheroes. Chris Hemsworth from Extraction. Okay. So we got Vin Diesel, Riddick, Chris Hemsworth from Extraction. Oh, who's a good one? For a zombie apocalypse. And I'm only gonna pick male. I'm only gonna pick guys because I don't want my wife commenting later to be like, hey, why is Ana de Armas? Why is Ana de Armas in the zombie truck? And Keanu Reeves from Constantine, actually. So yeah, a lot of people would pick Keanu Reeves from John Wick. I'd pick Keanu Reeves from Constantine, which I think is a very slept-on movie. It's pretty good. All right. Is stand-up harder or easier than you expected to be when you first tried it? I started doing stand-up in 2022 at the Grand Comedy Club in Escondido, and I was pretty nervous about it. Because, you watch comedy, you watch Netflix, you watch YouTube, and I was pretty nervous about it. And when I went in here, I'm like, you know what, I have to do great because everyone on YouTube does great. And then you realize, oh, you know what, this isn't the polished version, the polished edited version you see on Netflix. This is very, this is where you see the sausage get made, right? And there are bombs, right? There's some jokes you try, right? When you do a 5-minute set, you'll probably say a few things, right? A few different jokes. And one of the things you say won't land. You know what I mean? And then some other, maybe 2 things you say do land. One thing doesn't. Right? But it's kind of like you're working on it, right? So like you're not a feature, you're not a headliner. You're working on jokes. Even big time comics, they'll come in and they start burning through jokes because they want to see how they're doing, right? They want to practice out their stuff. So I thought it was look, I don't want to say I'm super funny, right? I had good laughs. The first times I did it, when I was doing it, I did get pretty good laughs. But I also got silence, right? Silence, maybe some pity laughs, and it's normal, bro. That becomes normal, and it's like, all right, I didn't give it enough energy. I should have worded it differently. The sentence had too many syllables. It was hard to follow. The buildup of me telling that story didn't pay off at the end. So that's what I learned about comedy. But listen, my battery's dying. Thank you for the questions. Email in the cineopspod at gmail. Comment wherever. I love you. Stay safe. Next time.